Hello, everyone. Cornell Cruz Jr., Executive Director, Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. Welcome to the Just Economy Podcast. I'm your host, Cornell Cruz Jr., and this is sponsored by the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida, a statewide membership organization ensuring that the financial institutions reinvest into the community per the Community Reinvestment Act of 1977. We have a very special guest here today from PhilanthropyMiami, Fernanda Jorgensen. We'll get right to her in a second here. But first, a couple of announcements. One, the summit is coming back. Summit 25 will be here May 15th, 2025. It will be at Gulfstream Park. It will be a very, very intriguing summit, probably the most we've had since we've been in existence, with all that's going on in the world right now concerning funding, nonprofits, missions, the Community Reinvestment Act, and so on. This will be our 10th anniversary. So this will be the 10th anniversary celebration of the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida was founded in 2015 by Arden Shank, and we will be celebrating that milestone as well. So Gulfstream Park, May 15th, 2025, the summit. We will also having tickets going on sale. Early bird tickets will go on sale March 14th. Again, early bird tickets go on sale March 14th for the summit. A couple of other announcements. We will also be conducting a nonprofit financial workshop on March 25th, 10 a.m. That will be via Zoom. Flyer will be coming out shortly. We'll be out early next week. So please take the time to sign up for the nonprofit financial workshop. Also, the nonprofit capacity building project, which went very, very well. The first iteration, we did 24 organizations in the community with grants up to $20,000 for capacity building, and that covered everything from auditing all the way to staffing. The first iteration did 22 organizations. The next iteration will open up in April. Please be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing that again. That was powered by Truist. We were able to build that grant through a grant from Truist Bank, and we're looking forward to partnering with other banks as well to keep this program going. So today we have someone very, very important and a big part of the nonprofit community. PhilanthropyMiami, Fernanda Jorgensen is our guest today. She's the executive director, and she's going to talk about all the good work that PhilanthropyMiami is doing, and we're also going to kick around some ideas too to help build our community and to make our community better. So welcome, Fernanda. Thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you, Cornell. Thank you for having me.
So, Fernanda, I wanted to ask you about your programs. So, in looking at your website, I noticed that you had quite a few programs going on. Can you enlighten us on a few of them?
Sure. So we have two signature events a year. One is called Donor Next Door. We actually just passed in February. And that is really an opportunity for nonprofits in the community to celebrate and honor one of their donors in a public way. And it's truly a celebration of the impact of generosity and volunteerism in our community. And then our next event is the one coming up in May, which is our annual Ignite Conference. And this event is really an opportunity for nonprofit leaders to come together for a day of learning, but connection, networking, and collaboration.
So let's go back to the first one you mentioned, celebrating a donor. I really like that idea. I wonder, how were you able to, and one, how did the idea come about? That's number one. And number two, how were you able to facilitate a nonprofit doing that?
So Donor Next Door is actually one of the events that has been a part of the organization's history from the beginning. It's a long-standing event of over 20 years, and it was a luncheon at the time. And the idea came about because going back to those smaller nonprofits, sometimes they don't have the time or the budget or the resources to stop and really, thank one of their donors and show the donor the impact that the donor is having. And donor in the loose sense of the word, in the sense that it could be a volunteer, it could be a financial contribution, it could be a funder, it could be a corporate partner. And so we really emphasize the importance of donor stewardship and how the practice of gratitude, how that is so important. And so, and another thing, it's really expensive for nonprofits to do their own events. So with Donor Next Door, a participating nonprofit just buys into our event, and they're able to just show up, have their donor with them, and the donor gets an award. They get included in our program book. It actually becomes part of almost like an alumni network. We actually honored over 600 people, organizations, individuals, families in the community, and they become part of this network of previous donor honorees. And so it's just a really beautiful celebration. And I think, there's organizations that have been coming to the event year in and year out, but my goal is to bring new organizations in who may, again, not have the budget or the time to do proper donor stewardship, but really see the value and the importance of it.
That is a great idea, Fernanda. I mean, I noticed it when I was researching and doing some work on and looking at your website. I was like, okay, this is a fabulous idea. And I'm glad, especially for the smaller nonprofits, they don't have to try to arrange something themselves. They can actually go through your organization in order to plan this, right?
And then it becomes part of a community, right? Everything that we do is centered in community. And so to be around other nonprofits, that you also get the opportunity to showcase your mission, right? And showcase the impact that the donor is having on your mission. And then I feel like that almost encourages other donors to get involved. And so we did have a call to action at Donor Next Door this past month, where we invited people to really see their role in making the community better and make that connection of, the importance of giving, whether it's through their time, talent, or treasure. And, since coming on board with PhilanthropyMiami, we reimagined the event. So it used to be a luncheon, and now it's a cocktail reception in the evening, an award ceremony, and we made it a little more fun, a little more modern. And so I'm really looking forward to continuing that momentum.
I can't gush about that enough. That's a great idea. Everybody loves a thank you. There's not one person in this world that doesn't like.
Feel good. Doesn't it make you feel good to be recognized and to have that moment to say like that you matter and your work matter, and so I think everybody appreciates that.
Yeah. Again, it's just not one person that doesn't like a thank you. You know what I mean? And when we get
meaningful thank you.
And a meaningful thank you. And those folks who are donors or sponsors and are supporting, they appreciate that as well. And because they definitely remember the next time that you come around and you ask for that support, they definitely agree. I love that idea. Please let me know how we can support that. We'd love to.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited. We're going to be launching a brand new website in a couple of days. And on the website, under Donor Next Door, we're going to feature that alumni network that I mentioned, all the organizations that have been honored in the past, including we give out our own awards. So we have our Hank Radama Community Champion Award. Hank Radama was one of our founders. And so this year's honoree was Pat Morris from the county. We had, a decade of giving out this award. So we're going to be featuring that on the website as well as more information on how to get involved.
Outstanding. Please make sure I get the link, and I'll make sure that we post it in our newsletter.
Thank you so much.
And put a link on our website as well. So you've been in the job a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've seen some things. So I'm interested in your insights. Not just your personal insights on the nonprofit community as a whole, but also your organization's insights.
So I joked with the board when they offered me the opportunity to join PhilanthropyMiami that we're ushering into a new era. So I say it's PhilanthropyMiami 3.0 because we have a long history. So one of the things that we do have is, 28 years of existence. And we didn't always start off as PhilanthropyMiami. We started off as a program called Leave a Legacy. And then over, the next decade, we evolved to start to talk more about other things other than planned giving. And then we rebranded to become PhilanthropyMiami because that was the name of our conference. And then now, we became our own nonprofit and we were able to hire my position. And so now I'm working a lot this past year with our board to really, not that the board was not already professional, because we do have an amazing powerhouse of a board of really committed individuals who care about this community, who give back of their time and their talent. But how can we really transform our organization to be more effective, more efficient, and to serve more nonprofits? I mean, that's the ultimate goal. We want to be there for the community. And so that's really been what I've been learning internally, right, with the organization, how to set up systems and processes. And, thank you to the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida for the capacity building grant. We're able to strengthen our infrastructure so that we can grow and sustain our operations. So that's really been the biggest takeaway this past several months is doing the work internally while also being that, external facing organization that's advocating on behalf of all the nonprofits in our sector.
So, on behalf of advocating for the nonprofits, um, what are some of the things you think that we can do better for our own advocacy that we're not doing now? I know it's a long list. Believe me, nobody knows better than
I
me.
think just even how we talk about our work, we're not charities, we are businesses. The nonprofit status is a tax status. That's it. We are small businesses, large businesses, medium sized businesses. I mean, our sector in Miami-Dade County employs over 77,000 people. That is not a small number of people. And so we have a thriving workforce that requires and deserves the attention, of any really well-sized workforce. We are contributing to the economy. We partnered with the Florida Nonprofit Alliance, our state association, to look at some data, and $20.5 billion in revenue. Again, we are contributing to the economy. We're part of our workforce is strong. It's a large sized workforce, and so how can we talk about ourselves in a way that really amplifies our role in the community and not just the traditional idea that we're charities because we ask for money and we need money to do the work, right? We're more than that.
I totally agree with you. We don't tell our story well, and I guess one of the things that kind of bothers me is something that you said several times is the word charities. I think the population thinks nonprofit, they think charity, and not understanding that we are social impact organizations. Without these social impact organizations, society would be in worse shape than we are, and we're constantly striving to make it better and give people opportunity as well. And I think the community's mindset is charity. Oh, they just want money. They just want money to pay salaries. They're not really doing anything, and that type of thing. And a lot of that it's on us. We're not selling how important we are to the community. Like you just said, 77,000 workers contributing in Miami-Dade County alone. Just in Miami-Dade County, contributing to the economy as we are, and because we all got to rent space, we all have to do things. We have to pay our employees. Our employees got to live, they got to eat. So we're constantly contributing to the economy, and we're not just a charity. We're uplifting those folks and giving those people who don't have an opportunity, or better yet, don't believe they have an opportunity, right? Showing them the ways that you do have an opportunity, and here's how we can help, right?
Right. And if you look at our sector, I mean, we have nonprofits working in all areas, from arts and culture and how important that is to a thriving community, to those working on the environment, other health and human services, working on immigration. I mean, there's nonprofits working on every aspect of our daily lives in Miami-Dade County. I mean, we lead the state in terms of number of nonprofits, and so I think that it really behooves us to tell the story in that way. And to also, philanthropy, if you think about it, the spirit of philanthropy is about social impact and social investment. It's not about charities. And so I think there's just still those myths that we have to dispel and just keep talking about ourselves in that elevated way.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So let's talk about the Ignite conference. I've been to it several years in a row. It is an outstanding conference. If you have not been, you need to come. Last year we were packed. I think we had virtually standing room only, and Fernanda puts on a great conference every single year. So tell us a little bit more about the Ignite conference.
So Ignite's coming up on May 8th at Miami-Dade College, Wolfson campus, and thank you to Miami-Dade College. They are our presenting partner, both for the conference and Donor Next Door. And so I'm very excited to start sharing some of the things we have planned. We've been working with the planning committee for several months now. And this year, Cornell, more than ever, this is needed. The theme is going to be about leadership and leading boldly together. And I say that because we really have to come together as a sector to be able to navigate all the changes that are happening, with our federal government, at the state level, at the local level, and really our over reliance on government for funding. And so how we're going to navigate that. And sometimes these disruptions, I see more opportunity than not, right? I think that we need to take these opportunities head on and really work together. And so the conference is going to be an opportunity to dive into our own role as leaders. And a leader can be anybody. It doesn't have to be, it's not a title, right? The leadership comes from within. So I'm really excited to share a little bit more about the tracks and the sessions that we have planned.
I look forward to that. Leadership is a big part of, my background and my career. Leadership has always been emphasized. Totally agree with you. Leaders have to be bold. I think leaders have to also be honest, and I think leaders have to not be afraid to say what needs to be said. I think we have a tendency, and some folks have a tendency to try to change the words around, or hopefully use another phrase or whatever, but that doesn't get what needs to be accomplished. I think that leadership is being bold and standing out there.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of our sessions are going to be exploring self-awareness first and foremost, right? So our own self-awareness, how we respond to situations, and a lot of mindset. So there's going to be a wonderful session on mindset training. So to make sure that we are feeling equipped to deal with whatever comes our way, but also in an authentic way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm so glad that you're going to focus on leadership. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there are not any great leaders out here, because there are. But I also think that the leaders have to be honest with the situation that we face, and this won't be the last time that we face these situations. In regards to funding, in regards to personnel, in regards to hiring and firing of folks, and doing the actual mission in the community. We have to be able to, one thing about leadership, you have to be able to, what we used to call in the military, lift and shift. That as stuff comes at you different, you got to be able to change, and you got to be able to. You also got to be able to formulate a plan quickly in order to adjust to that change. So I'm really looking forward to the Ignite conference. I didn't know you were going to focus on leadership. This is great.
And, before our tracks were subject-based, like fundraising, impact, culture. And this year, we're going to change things up a little bit. The tracks are going to be what I want people to experience in the session. So the first track is called Grow. So that's going to be all about your personal professional development. So that's where your subject areas are going to come in, like fundraising, marketing, everything that a nonprofit needs. And then the next track is called Connect. And those sessions are going to be all about community engagement, collaboration, networking, and really coming together in an interactive way. And then the third track is going to be Lead, which is all about leadership. So the self-awareness, mindset training, and the tools and techniques to be able to pivot and have that strategic foresight of what's ahead.
So Fernanda, I definitely want to thank you for being our guest today, but I got one final question before you go. Okay? And I ask everybody this question. And the question is, if I gave you all the power in the world, what would you do with it?
I would give it away. I think I would give it away. I mean, maybe I would want one cool trick, like being able to read people's minds. But then I would want, I don't know, I would feel like it's not right for only one person to have all the power in the world. So I would probably figure out a way to distribute it in some kind of equitable fashion so that we're all, like a rising tide lifts all boats. Yeah. So that's, I think, what I would do with it.
Okay. So for our guest today has been Fernanda Jorgensen from PhilanthropyMiami. So before we go, please give us your contact information.
Thank you so much. So you can reach me at fernanda@philanthropymiami.org, or you can also go to our website, www.philanthropymiami.org. A new website is coming soon. And you could also follow us on social media. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thank you, Fernanda. Greatly appreciate it. And we look forward to the Ignite conference and all the other great things you're going to do, especially the convening part.
And see you. And then May 8th is Ignite, and then May 15th is your summit, which I'm also really looking forward to.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been the Just Economy Podcast. I'm your host, Cornell Cruz Jr. The Just Economy Podcast is sponsored by the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. We look forward to seeing you the next time, and we thank again Fernanda Jorgensen from PhilanthropyMiami, and we look forward again to seeing you again soon. Thank you.